So what should we talk about?
First thing, thanks to everyone that, has supported us through this for the past almost 2 years now.
It's been a ride.
It's a long time.
Long, but not long enough. We still got many more years to go, but thank you all for being a part of our journey here and giving us this platform to share experiences of building a brand, of starting a business with you guys. So thanks for caring. Otherwise, we would not be sitting here.
Because we get a lot of questions on a daily basis from a lot of people, other businesses. So I figured this made sense to put it somewhere.
And it's also nice to just have that shared experience with somebody. So if you're a fellow small business owner or you're looking to start your own thing, it's nice to see somebody else in the trenches of it, because let me tell you, we are in the trenches of it. So hopefully you can relate. I mean, we definitely don't know everything by any means.
Nope.
At all.
Not at all.
But we can share at least some of the things that we've learned along the way. And if it helps somebody else along the road, then that's a win for us.
I guess we should start from who we are.
So we're taking it back to the beginning?
I guess.
Okay.
And the people that know us can now know more about us.
Okay, so how far back you want to go?
So on a gloomy morning.
Gloomy morning?
Oh, maybe it was a beautiful morning. I don't know. A sunshine-filled morning. Oh, I think I was born in the night.
Oh, bro, I'm not talking...
I was in the night.
No, I'm not talking about that. No one needs to know, the details of your birth.
I don't even know.
Okay, so maybe, not that far back.
Okay.
I haven't always wanted to be an entrepreneur.
I have.
Yeah. Having a small business, being an entrepreneur is just not something that runs in my family, runs in my blood per se, but I feel like I was definitely meant to do this, if that makes sense. It's just a thing that I discovered later on in life. Whereas him, he's always known.
Yeah, I guess looking back at it, my family were entrepreneurs. I always wanted to have a business. Always. But I never knew what. So that was the issue. Yeah, she did not want to have a business.
That's not something that came to me until later on in life. After college, I moved to China to teach English, and I was there for a year. And I lived in Guangzhou, which is the third largest city in China. It's also one of the biggest cities for import and export in China. A lot of trade happens there. So basically, if you're an expat in Guangzhou, your job title is either English teacher, which is what I was, or you're some sort of business person involved in import-export business. I mean, that's pretty much how it went. And that's just something I didn't even know about. But I would meet these people and I would see these people and I would go to these places where people would be bringing stuff in, or they would bring it in from the factories and sell it to other people, and that's what they would do. And I'm wow, this is really cool. I feel like I can do that. And that's and that's when the idea started, because I was getting ready to finish my contract in China, and we were still together at the time, but we were long distance. So yeah. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with this next chapter in my life. Didn't know if I wanted to come back to the States right away or not. And literally one of the things that we talked about doing is how can we start a business?
Oh, yeah, it was a restaurant.
No, you're missing. Remember when we were thinking about making the
cookie dough?
Bro, you gotta take it back.
Where we had a lot of ideas.
Remember when we were talking about making the hostel in Thailand?
That would have been great though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a hostel.
I think that one might have been one of the OG. But I mean,
when you're
when you're in, I guess, Asia and you're traveling around, you stay at hostels because they're cheap and they're nice. Yeah. And we were oh my gosh, people can come to our hostels, we'll make so much money, this will be great, this will be so much fun, we get to live abroad. And my family's from Thailand, so I'm let's do it in Thailand, it totally makes sense, there's a lot of tourists. So we kind of went down the rabbit hole
that was a minute.
For quite a bit. We priced out every single thing.
The only reason we really came back was Megan's wedding. Because we were going to keep going.
That's true.
Technically, she helped us with our business
Puppy
ideas.
To the hostel, there's also like inkling of a thought of like a stationery business because like I
Wait,
really
what?
oh maybe well that wasn't you.
Which was that business?
No, it was like my own.
For what?
Well, I'm telling you now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but like I love stationery,
Like writing?
like paper. And like pens and like really cute stickers and
You
like
can still do that.
and like little
Why not?
planners and stuff.
So now we're gonna start a
And it's
sticker
like really
business.
cute. But yeah, no, in China they have like okay, you can go to these malls and basically they are ginormous malls
Yeah, these malls are
where there's like
insane.
different stores and it's like I guess factories or like outputs of factories have like what they have to make and what they have to sell and you can buy it in bulk and bring it to wherever you go and sell it there. Think of like a physical Alibaba mall. Anyways, no, I was talking about the stationery store. So anyways, I was thinking about doing a stationery business because there's just so much cute stationery in China and like you could just see it all and you're like, oh my god, wouldn't it be so cute to have a stationery store? But yeah, no, that didn't happen. That was kind of like in parallel with the hostel idea. But then I came back to the US and like I didn't have a job lined up or anything. And when I was in China, you were in New York.
Yeah, I wanted to be a comic.
Yeah.
So I tried it. It was fun. But I don't like the lifestyle. I met a lot of comics, very famous people. It was fun. It's a good time.
And
But
then
not for me.
well, and then like I came back and like so we subsequently both were unemployed.
Yeah,
And
because being a comic was I wasn't employed.
And it's a nice time in life to be unemployed, not gonna lie.
Yeah, your early 20s, you're out of college.
That's like the best time
Try
to
things
like
out.
not know what you want to do in life.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. So anyways, came back, we're like I don't know what I'm doing with my life. But before that we like traveled all around. And then the world came
And
back
hostels.
for our friend's wedding. And then we're like, okay, we came back to Florida because that's where we're from. All of our family is there. Yeah, so when we first came back from overseas, we were like, let's start a business, right? Because we were going down that whole route. And then we were like, let's start a hostel. And then we decided, oh, that doesn't make sense. And then so we were like, okay, what else can we do? And at the time, cookie dough and like edible cookie dough was like really like a hot trend type of thing. And so we were like, oh my gosh, let's start a raw cookie dough concept like storefront, and it could be like an ice cream store, but instead of ice cream it would be like raw cookie dough. So we went as far as like developing the recipes, like tasting things, like doing market research, like trying things out before we decided doesn't make sense, too niche. So then we scrapped that idea, and then we were like,
on the restaurant.
Yes, and then we were like, okay, we need to do something more broader. So then we had the idea. Yes, so it was gonna be like, well, not street food per se. It was like sandwiches, like sandwiches, or like internationally global inspired like sandwiches from around the world. Yes, it will. So if somebody wants to take that idea, like feel free, because we are never gonna do that. We
could do it one day.
I don't know about that. We even with this one, we got so far as even creating an LLC.
Yeah, we had pictures. We got pretty far.
Maybe we'll put some pictures up. We had like a menu, we had pictures, we had a logo, and it was going to be called Pan Sandwich Shop.
I forgot that.
Because pan, or pan in Spanish, means bread.
Like the movie by the famous guy.
But pan in Latin also means like all.
And it's also pan air.
I wasn't thinking that. We went so far as like touring spaces and everything, and then we got into it where we were like, whoa, the build out on this is going to be majorly expensive.
So we said no. I moved on.
Yeah, that idea died, and then that's when we were like, screw it, let's leave South Florida, let's do something else, let's go on a road trip and see what is out there.
So then we
Remember, we went on a road trip. Then we went back to Florida. We were like, okay, we're going to move to Houston. We applied to jobs. We're like, whichever one of us gets a job, and whatever it is, it doesn't even matter what it is.
I'll just take it.
We'll just take it. And then I got a call for an interview, and...
oh, you were working with that lady.
Yeah. And then I got a call for an interview, and then she was like, can you meet in person? We're like, screw it.
So
Let's
we
just
drove
pack up our bags in the car and let's just go.
17 hours, one shot. A lot easier with no kids back then.
No kids,
Just
no dogs.
Yeah, no dogs yet. So we just left. We weren't married. Yeah, we weren't even married yet. We just let's go. And then we got here. You got that job, and it was travel. What was it, like travel company?
So I worked as like an assistant for this woman who owned a travel agency. So I didn't necessarily like work as a travel agent, but I helped her with like a bunch of other things.
And then somehow, I don't know how, I got a job at a travel agency as a travel agent.
Yes.
Which was really funny.
Well, not really. We were like,
laugh.
well, not really, because we were traveling all the time.
Yeah, so it worked out, but it was just so random that she had a travel job, and then I got a travel job.
And then he
And then I got really
the job.
good at it.
Well, then you got me the job.
Yeah.
So then I started working there, which, by the way, was not our first rodeo working together.
Oh, we worked in the lab.
Because we worked together before in college. Sorry, we had to take a pause. We had to pick a kid up from school.
Yeah, and then life happens. So it's like 4 days later.
Yeah, this is like November 13th. This is the day of our 2-year anniversary.
Oh, you should make a post about that probably today.
Oops. I think where we left off was we were working at the travel agency. So basically this place was like a big inbound sales call center. So we would sit in our little cubicles and people would call in and they would be like, hey, I'm interested in this tour or this cruise.
It's mainly a lot of old people, probably like 55 and up. Nice folk.
Yeah, and then so we had to basically like sell them, hopefully and ideally like there on the spot. So it actually was really good practice because you really had to nail down your sales game in like
10 seconds.
Yeah, and it taught us a lot. Like there was a script that you had to go off of. You had to basically go verbatim because it was a formula that worked. And there was like an end piece to it as well, like steps and procedures. So it was really good practice for when it came to us doing this business now and formulating how, like, you know, we talk to people at markets or trade shows or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that was really good experience.
That was that job we had together.
That was that job, and we
And
both got really
that-
good at it. But it was kind of like a dead end thing. I mean, like
you couldn't really get higher than manager, and the manager was there for what, like 10 years. I mean, they're still around. It's a great company.
You basically just make more in sales, but you can't like move up or go anywhere from there.
Yeah.
So it was kind of dead end. But honestly, that was probably one of the most fun jobs that we
had. You could
had.
just work. You don't have to really worry about anything. You just.
It was really chill,
And then you got to travel.
we got to travel for free. We went on like another vacation. We went to Italy with my parents. We took them. Yeah.
And then I went to teaching. I always wanted to be a teacher, and I loved it. Every single second of it.
Well, then COVID happened. So that's where I think that is like the key moment where like kind of life changed for us in a way. So then COVID happened. I was still working at the travel agency. He was a teacher at the time, and we were on vacation with some friends doing a road trip in the southwest, and everything shut down. We actually weren't even sure if we were going to make it out of Vegas.
Yeah, we left the day that we left a couple hours before they shut the airport down.
Yeah.
I remember they shut it down that afternoon.
Yeah, that was a crazy time. But when this whole thing with COVID was happening, I was working as a travel agent. So guess who's not traveling anymore going forward? Nobody. So all these people were canceling their tours and cruises and everything left and right. So I was like losing money left and right because everything was getting canceled. And I was like, oh my God, I don't think I'm going to have a job when I get back, but we'll see how it goes.
Teaching was good though.
Yeah.
We just taught online. We didn't teach for like a month.
Yeah,
the kids
you were
are just
totally
chilling.
shut down.
Yeah, and then they finally gave the kids computers.
And then
we got Luna.
Yeah, that is
when
when we
during
got
COVID because
Luna.
we're like, what do we do? We're bored.
Yeah, Luna was a COVID dog, so she doesn't love people because she never was around people.
I remember she was.
So yeah, then COVID changed everything for us, and then I got pregnant, and then we had Nina. So I was pregnant throughout COVID pretty much, because Nina was born like in the middle of 2021. I stopped working at the travel agency because nobody was traveling at the time. So it was kind of nice actually, because I was collecting unemployment, collecting the stimulus check, and not working. So it was kind of chill, but only for about like, I don't know, 3 weeks. And then I'm like, okay, I'm bored of doing puzzles at home. So then I found another job working in sales and business development for UPS. So, you know, one of the biggest logistics carriers in the world. Which my job basically was to work with small and medium-sized businesses and help them grow their businesses and use these different like tools and solutions and provide them with those in hopes that they would keep growing and keep shipping more packages with UPS. So that was a really cool job because it gave me a lot of insight into the world of small businesses, what people do, how they do it, what they use, what opened the door for me into like, okay, now let's get serious. We wanna definitely do a business. We just haven't found the right thing. Now I feel like I've learned how to make a business successful because I'm literally making recommendations to other people about what to do. But we just still haven't found the right product yet.
And then I was still teaching, and I loved every second. I was a Spanish teacher, and I was an art teacher, and I loved it so much. But, and a football coach, people don't understand the amount of time to be a good teacher it really takes. Like, they think, oh, you get off work at like 2. I was a high school teacher. That's so cool, but like, you get off at 2, if you're a good teacher, you're still helping kids afterwards because they need help with something. Yeah, we did do that.
Yeah, so we moved back to Florida, kind of like when things cleared up with COVID, just because we wanted to be closer to our family at the time. We had Nina, and she was still young, so we were like, well, all our family is back there. Let's go back and have their help and do that there. So I just transferred my job from Houston over to South Florida, but I was still doing the same thing.
Yeah, and then I was a elementary teacher for 1 semester.
Oh, that's when things went
And
haywire.
that was the end of my teaching. And first of all, Florida with their rules is pretty ridiculous. Everything they have when it comes to teaching in Florida, which makes sense when you look at their, state rankings and everything. But no, they have so many weird rules, and they don't let you take charge of your classroom, which is ridiculous, at least back then. And teaching elementary, I don't do a little kid, they all wanted to hug me all day, and a lot of the teachers, very nice, great kids, but all they want to do is like hug me, and they're like, oh my god, hug time, it's art time, and I'm like, no, I'm used to being sarcastic with my high schoolers, and I can make jokes, and they get it, because they're, like 16 and up, not 4 to 10, so yeah, that was the end of the teaching era for me.
That's kind of when we were both like, we're just not happy with where we're at. We want to look into something else. Oh, so then you got sick of teaching, and then you...
I didn't get sick of teaching. I got sick of the Florida rules.
All right.
Regulations.
Well, you stopped teaching, and then you went into real estate. So then you got your real estate license.
Well, that's a long story because I was doing real estate analysis for years and years and years.
Yeah, but then you got your license, and then you were doing that for a while, but that kind of ended up dying off.
Which again goes back to, I just kind of get over things. So yeah, I got over it, and then I worked in logistics.
So then, that's what happened. So then I was still at my same job, but I hated it with all my life. Like I was really good at it, and got promoted, kept moving up, but I honestly like hated it just because I think I'm just the type of person that I'm just like a creative person, and I like to create things. If I have new ideas, I like to put them into place. And if you work for a really large corporation, that's just not happening. You're just dealing with like middle managers on middle managers on middle managers, and it was just very frustrating, and it's just not something that I like was passionate about doing. I liked the day-to-day in a sense of I liked talking to all of these small business owners and learning from them and like getting ideas and stuff, but where I worked, it just wasn't really conducive to who I am. But it was difficult to leave because it made me a lot of money.
It's a good deal.
I had a lot of really excellent benefits. I was really good at it, and
But you hated it so
my
much.
superiors loved me.
She was so mad, like, every day.
But I like literally wanted to like crawl out of my skin. Like every Sunday, it would be like halfway through the day, it'd be like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and then this like sense of dread would just like wash over me, where I'm like,
It's very visible.
oh my god, tomorrow is Monday. Like that realization of like tomorrow is Monday, and
And the people
now
at your job liked you so much.
I have to go back to this job that I hate so much. And it's really like, I don't know, I think it's a very privileged thing to say, but I do kind of feel like I was living in like a gilded cage, because it was really cushy.
Well, for the people that don't know what that is, like me, what's a gilded cage?
Like a golden prison. Like
like Diddy? He's living it good. Yeah, I was saying. He's not roughing it, I'll tell you that.
Anyway, so like, I mean, I was confined. I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I was stuck and I was trapped. But the place where I was stuck at was really nice and really cushy. So can you really complain that much? I don't know. But it got to the point where I hated it so much, and I like was having panic attacks, and I just had so much anxiety over like having to go to work and put a face on and do something that I really didn't do. Like literally, it was just a really stressful job as well. I was on the road, I had to like travel, and it got to the point where like the stress of it all, like me not liking it, me just like not just feeling like it conflicted with who I was and like just the day-to-day of the job. It was so stressful that it started to like manifest physically, and like I was having heart palpitations, like I was like constantly like sick, like constantly like nauseous, like I just felt like uneasy like every day, all day. And I was like, I can't live like this. Like this is not normal. Like sometimes I'd be walking around, like I had an Apple Watch I used to wear all the time, and I just looked down, I would literally be sitting down and my heart would be racing. It'd be like at like a 153. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So it just was like, it was just way too much. So all the things kind of like compounded at once, and that's when I was like, okay, I think it's really time to get serious. But I felt like I couldn't leave that job for the longest time because I was just too scared. Like I just am not the person that like takes risks or does anything risky. I'm a very like look before you leap type of person. Like ask 10 million questions to make sure we know what deal we're getting. And then like we go, if I buy a car, I'm about to test drive like 7 cars before and do research on about 100 of them before
You made me test drive like 10 cars, and I was like, I got the car I wanted. From the beginning, I'm like,
Yeah. No, I'm like heavy into like over analyzing everything, and that's just like me.
Which is really funny because in big life things she gets really intense like that, and for me in big life things I'm just like, it'll work out, whatever's planned is planned, you know. And then little things I freak out about, and little things she's like, that doesn't matter. So it's very interesting, our correlation between that.
Yeah,
It's complete opposite.
it works out, it balances.
I tried so hard to like this job because I saw like the benefits and everything she was getting at her place, and it's kind of similar logistics. But I think I'm very passion based, and if I don't have a passion behind it, I get over it really quick. I'm just like, I'm done. Not that I quit, because a lot of things I do, it ends up going pretty well, but I just kind of get over it because I'm like, I don't like this anymore. Like it's not really my thing, and that's what I always tell her. Like my biggest thing is like happiness. I get it. You can't always be happy, and trust me, I've had a lot of things where I wasn't happy in life with situations. But if you aren't happy, you need to work and put steps towards making yourself happy and getting yourself out of whatever that situation is, which is probably why I've changed my job so many times, because I was like, all right, I'm good with it, and then I'm like, yeah, I gotta change something. And yeah, so I tried real hard to like that job, but there was no passion behind it. I mean, we literally would have that like, so, not as intense as her by any means, but I would just not. I was like, oh, here comes Monday. Go back to work.
So we got to the point where we were like, okay, all the stars are aligning in a sense of we are in a place where we both don't want to be, and we both want to like do something different. And we figured with like where we were at with like our careers and our work experience and the connections that we made, if all else failed, we could always go back and find a 9-to-5 job if that was a worst case scenario. But guess what? We were already living our worst case scenario. So we're like, only on
not worst case at all. It's
well,
good, but
it was
mentally the work, we just weren't behind it.
It was like it's only on the up and up from here, so we might as well try.
Yeah.
In the meantime of all of this, Dobby, is Dobby on camera?
No, not at all. He's right here though.
Oh, Dobby, this dog over here. Come here, Dobby. Dobby, he started having a bunch of health issues. So it was about like 4 years ago now, and we were in Florida, and
Well, he had his first seizure.
he had his first seizure.
I thought he turned into a zombie.
And
Because I like The Walking Dead, so I thought he was a zombie. Because
Yeah.
he woke up and I was like, it's happening. It's happening. This is the moment. It wasn't.
Yeah, I wasn't there for that. But then we were like, okay, that was really weird. Maybe it was like a one-off. And then he went like a while without it happening again. It was like maybe another 6 months later when he had another seizure. The doctors were basically like, one time, it could have been anything. If it happens more than twice, then you're probably going to need to start looking into getting on medication. And once you start medication with him, basically, you're just going to be on it the rest of your life. And it will get to the point where they get used to it. And you're just going to have to up the dose as you go along with it.
He had so many pills he was on.
And then
he was so dopey.
Well, we did everything. We did everything to try to figure out what the real problem was for his seizures. It wasn't kidney failure. It wasn't anything. We did all these tests. We did an MRI. We did a spinal tap. Everything. Like thousands and thousands of dollars of vet bills trying to figure out what his issue was. And then they told us basically he has idiopathic epilepsy, which is a diagnosis by elimination. So it just means that he doesn't have any of the above. But really, like, we don't know the exact cause. So here you go, here's your dog, and here are all the pills that he now has to live with
And then he was
in order
having
to function.
the bladder issue, then he had the kidney problem.
So then we put him on these pills for his seizures, to like anti-seizure medication, and then he was having reactions to those. So then we were having to counteract the reactions with other things. So he was taking the anti-seizure meds, but then he was getting really nauseous. So then we had to be on anti-nausea medication, and then he started getting really like stressed and anxious. So then we had to put him on like trazodone to help him calm down, and it was just like a balancing act of honestly like 12 pills in one day trying to keep this dog alive.
And then he wouldn't take the pills, so he had to shove it down his throat.
Yes.
Which is not fun doing with a 80-pound dog here.
Well, no, first he wouldn't take it, and then they were like, okay, well, you got to make sure he takes it any way you can. If that means sticking the pills in a hot dog because he'll eat a hot dog,
he did eat the hot dog,
then
right?
Give it to him in a hot dog, but you got to make sure he takes the pills.
He got really fat for a while.
All right, well, hot dogs work. So this dude was eating 3 hot dogs a day because we didn't know any better.
We cut it into tiny pieces, but it's still the whole hot dogs. He was having so many pills.
Yeah, and we were like, well, we gotta make sure he gets his pills. So he was having 3 hot dogs a day. He was looking like a literal zombie.
Well, he already is kind of a dopey guy, and it just got
dopey.
worse. He's like, ugh.
Yeah.
We're like, that doesn't look good. And he was getting fat.
Oh
so
my
he wasn't
God.
even able to run anymore.
He
The other
was
dog
so-
was running, and he was like
He was
chugging
so fat.
along.
Oh my God, this poor dog. He was like, at the height of it, he was like almost 90 pounds.
No,
I think.
he got more. He got to 95. I remember he got close to 100. I was like, this isn't that big of a dog.
Yeah, it was honestly insane. He did not look good at all. He did not feel good. And we're like, this is not okay. And this is not normal. So then we were like, okay, we got to figure out something else to do here because we can't just keep living like this. And then we couldn't, and in terms of our life, we couldn't do anything either because we couldn't go anywhere. We always had to have our schedule work around his pill schedule. So we had to give him his pills 4 times a day. One of us had to be there for it because no one else could give it to him. So like, it's like our whole life was on pause. He was a disaster. It was like a whole situation where like, this ain't it. So then
That's when I started doing research.
that's when we went into this whole rabbit hole of trying to like figure out like what the deal was. And then we realized, oh wow, we're doing so many of these things for him to help his health, supposedly, but in reality, so many of these things are really detrimental to his health.
Especially so looking at the food he was
like
eating.
the food he
all
was
the
eating,
chemicals.
all like the synthetic
Insane.
chemicals, the nasty ingredients, the fillers, like everything that we were doing, cleaning our house with, like the dogs are laying on the floor and we're just cleaning the floor with some Pine Sol and they're just like rolling around with it. Candles everywhere, not like pet safe candles, just like regular candles, plug-ins. He was on like flea and tick medications, like literally everything we looked at, and we really nailed down like what are his triggers and what can we do to eliminate all the things that might make him go haywire.
Yeah.
So we changed his food. We took away all of like the toxic cleaning solutions in our house, candles, fragrances, everything, down to like the detergents that we use, like nothing. We figured out like stress and anxiety like is a really big thing for him, because whenever we'd have people come over to the house, he would get so worked up and excited, then the next day he would literally have a seizure.
That was pretty on the dot.
Yeah, it was like predictable.
Oh, if you ever seen a seizure, they just poop and pee on themselves.
Yeah.
And this guy's he's like a cat almost. I'll never forget when he had that seizure that day. I was holding Nina, and she was still a baby, and I looked at him, and he looked, because Luna tried to lick him while he was having a seizure, because I didn't know what to do. I thought he was turning into a zombie. And so Luna tries to like lick his face, and he's like, biting because they go blind during the seizure. And like she came running in the house because he wasn't trying to bite her, but he was like nibbling, and she looked so sad. She ran in the house, and then afterwards, when he looked at himself, he was filled with poo and pee all over his like body.
Yeah.
And he literally looked at himself with like a face
of horror.
Disgust.
Yeah.
I've never seen a dog have a face where they're like, ugh. Like he just looked sad at himself, and I was like, oh my god, it's so sad to look at you. And but yeah, it was rough because he's such a clean little guy.
And at the height of it, it was so bad. He was having
seizures
like almost every day. Like it was insane. We kept on having to change his meds because like nothing was working. The doses just kept on going up and up and up.
And then one vet said it was if he had 3 in a row, it was the ring of death. And I'm like, well, this guy's dying left and right. And one time he had 4 seizures in a row. We had to give him that nose spray to knock his
like if you're doing
up.
if they have multiple seizures, then they give you like midazolam, which you put through their nose. And if you ever give in midazolam to a dog, by the time that they come out of the seizure and the medication hits them, they look like they are drunk off of like, not even drunk. Probably
the lower body's moving.
Probably tripping off of fentanyl.
It looks like a giraffe giving birth. If you've ever seen that, that's what it looks like. The big old head.
Cannot walk. Just.
And the other dog trying to console them, and the dog's like, "Why can't I move?"
It's a disaster. Meanwhile, they're covered in pee and poop, and you're just horrified, and you're like, "Oh my god, my dog is dying."
The amount of pee and poo we had to clean up was more than the baby.
Yeah. It was, oh my god, remember one time Davi had a seizure. We moved to our new house, and he had a seizure right at the edge of the pool, and he almost fell into the pool, and we're like, if he falls into the pool while he has a seizure, I mean, he's definitely dead, because I guess we can try to get him out, but he's like,
biting us, choking himself.
So we had a pool fence installed like the
not
day,
for the kid, for
the
the
day
dog.
after, not for the baby, but for the dog, because we're like, well, he will definitely die.
And our parents were like, oh, good for the kid. We're like, well, no, dog almost died for the dog. They're like, what?
Well, Nina wasn't even walking at the time, so we weren't worried yet. But so with all the changes that we made to like the food that we gave him, to the routine, like his lifestyle, everything, we noticed major changes. So he went from having seizures like literally every day, sometimes at the height of it, to slowly going into every 4 months without a seizure. Once we got to every 6 months, I remember our neurologist was like, if you can go every 6 months with a dog with idiopathic epilepsy and he doesn't have a seizure for every 6 months, you basically won the lottery.
Yeah, because we now are at 6 to 8 months. The last one was April.
Well, now we've completely phased him out of his meds.
Yeah, he's been taking any meds in probably 3 months.
Yeah.
4 months maybe.
And he's been doing like totally fine. So all of this we learned, like subtle lifestyle changes like that really make a huge impact, and you can improve your dog's health or your health even with just like natural solutions. So that's what really inspired us to start this business. We started with the line of supplements. The first one that we brought on was our Mellow Fellow calming supplement, because we knew from Dobby, from experience, giving him like natural things like calming aids really made the difference and helped him.
Yeah,
so
that's when we made we were looking for our formula. We made sure that took a long time because we were looking at that kind of stuff for like a year,
Well, it was
year
hard.
and a half.
It was hard to find a manufacturer that was like reputable, that, you know, was consistent, that was certified and registered and clean.
Because there's a lot that aren't.
Yeah, so it was hard to find one, and then it was like the formulating of like which formula works and
best for your needs.
Yes, and coming up with like the perfect balance of like, this is easy to use, the dogs will eat this, and this is effective. It's really kind of difficult to hit the nail on all three of those. So it took a while for us to figure that out. But yeah, the calming solution was the first one. Then we also launched with our allergy and immune supplement, and we brought that on because the other dog,
Allergic to grass.
Luna, yeah, I'm talking about you, Luna.
What kind of dog's allergic to grass? But then we found out like,
A lot of dogs are allergic to grass.
Like, wow.
She would go outside, and this dog, she would be an outside dog if we let her be an outside dog. She would go outside, and she'd come back covered in like hives. And
yeah, you're like, what?
And she was constantly miserable. She was always like scratching herself, sometimes to the point where she was even like bleeding. So then we were like, okay, we need something for the allergies. That's a common issue that dogs have. And then we added something for the hip and joints as well. So when we first launched, those were our 3 items that we first brought on. And we've been adding on different things since, mainly inspired by our own dogs and the journey that they've had and that we've had with their health. So then we added on the peanut butters, the lick mats, and then the lick mats inspire the slow feeder bowls, and then that, and just kind of like snowballed into creating a whole line of health and wellness products for your pet.
Yeah, and that's how we started our company.
And that's how we started.
Now
we're in about 250 stores.
256.
More than that. Across the U.S., but also across the globe. So it's really, really kind of crazy how much we've grown. We are online on our own website, and that has really been picking up as well. And I think a lot of that is all thanks to social media and people following us along, following our.
I think they connect with us because we're a family. We're not just some venture capitalists that, you know, oh look, just throw a dog company out there because we have billions and throw something else. Which a lot do.
But the goal of this video and this YouTube channel is to just share more behind the scenes of what it's like trying to make it as a small business in the pet industry, and sharing the behind the scenes life of everything that keeps the ship sailing forward. Anyways, follow us along if you want to see some
more tips and not really tricks, just honest things that we do to help ourselves grow our business.
So yeah,
you can too.
So follow us along as we navigate this journey and see all the messiness behind the scenes of it. And
what do they say? You gotta share.
No, like and subscribe.
Subscribe what?
No, subscribe.
To what?
The YouTube channel.
Oh.
Please like and subscribe.
Yes.